at the point A, there is no load between A, which is acting in the downward direction. Drop of magnitude. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you know what to do. Consider subscribing to my channel and click the bell icon to get more updates on the upcoming videos. Today, in this lecture, we are going to learn what is a shear force, how and why they are developed in a beam, and how to find the shear force value in a beam. And finally, how to plot the shear force diagram using the most easiest steps ever. Okay then, without killing much time, we'll quickly jump into our lecture. For better understanding, I'm going to consider a small simply supported beam loaded with 2 point loads of magnitude W, and it is acting as shown in the figure. We know that the simply supported beam has a simple support and one roller support. So this simple support is going to develop two reactions, that is AX and AY, and roller support is going to develop one reaction, that is BY. You should also know that the horizontal reaction AX will be equal to 0 because there is no horizontal forces that are acting on the beam. Great. Now what is shear force? It is nothing but an algebraic sum of all the vertical forces either to the left or to the right of the section. Confusing? Let me make it simple. Shear force is just a force which is going to be one of a reason for the failure of the beam or any structure for that matter. And so the unit of the shear force will be unit of the force. Now let's find out the values of the shear forces at different sections of the beam. I have found the reactions and kept it ready for finding the shear forces. If you want to learn how to find the reactions for the different beams, please do watch my previous videos. I have attached the links in the description below. Let's begin by considering different sections on the beam. I am considering 6 sections between point A and point B on the beam. Here note that section X2 and X3 are at the same point but just before and just after the point load. Whenever you have a point load on the beam, you need to follow this just before and just after concept. You will understand why when we actually start working out for the values of the shear forces. At the supports, the shear forces are nothing but the reactions. So at the support A, at the section X11, we will have shear force at X11 will be equal to plus W units. Now let's move on to finding the shear forces on the remaining sections, considering either left side or right side of the section. So for the second section, it is shear force X22 will be equal to, considering the left side of the section, it is plus W, and there are no other loads acting between that section on the left side. So it is going to be plus W units. So the shear force at section 22, which is just before the load, is same as the shear force at section 11. Now let's move on to finding the shear force at section 33. Considering the left side of the beam, so the shear force at section 33 will be equal to plus W, which is the reaction acting in the upward direction, minus W, which is the load acting in the downward direction, equal to 0. Therefore, shear force at section 33 will be equal to 0. See, now I think you would have understood why we consider two sections before and after the loads. It is because we will have a sudden drop or rise at the point where the point load or concentrated load acts. Fine, moving on to find the shear force at the section 44. So the shear force at the section 44, when we consider the left side of the beam, we will get plus W, which is nothing but the reaction again, and minus W, which is nothing but the load. So we will get 0 again. Therefore, the shear force is going to be 0 from the section 33 to section 44. Great. Now finding shear force at section 55, considering the left side of the beam, we will get plus W, the reaction, minus W is the external force, and another external force is there, so that is also minus W. All this will be equal to minus W. Finally, let's get our value for shear force at section 66. Here the section 66 is just before the support, therefore shear force at the section 66 will also have the same shear force value, that is equal to minus W. But at the point B, we have a reaction of plus W. So at the same point, shear force will also become 0. Great. Now we have found all the shear forces at the critical sections of the beam. We will now move on to plot the shear force diagram and learn what is the use of it. Here I have the loaded beam and the shear forces at the different sections of the beam. Drawing shear force diagram for the beam loaded with just point loads is very simple. Actually, you don't even require shear force values. Let me show you how. Start with the left end of the beam, which is the point A. See, at the point A, there is a reaction of load W which is acting in the upward direction, right? So let's plot that first. Okay, then there is no load between A and point C. So the line goes without rising or falling till the point C. So it is going to be a constant line. Now at point C, what we have a load of W which is acting in the downward direction. So the shear force line will now fall for a magnitude of W, and since it has been raised only till the magnitude of W, so the shear force line will meet the zero line at the point C. Great. From here, we can see that there is no load or force acting between point C and point D. Therefore, shear force line will remain in the zero line. At point D, now there is again a drop of magnitude W. So the shear force line will also drop down for a magnitude of W at point D. From this point till the point B, it is going to be a constant line since there is no force. And at point B, you can clearly see that there is a rise of magnitude W, which is nothing but the reaction at point B. Therefore, the shear force line will rise to meet the zero line at point B. That's it. From here, we can know that our both reactions are correct. If it is not correct, then the shear force line will not meet the zero line at the start and the end of the beam. Now let's consider that the shear force above the zero line as positive and below the zero line as negative. So that is going to be a positive shear force, and below the zero line is going to be a negative shear force. Now you can also check the values of the shear forces that we had found before, matching with our shear force diagram at the different sections. Finally, let's see why the shear forces are important. As I said in the beginning of this lecture, shear force is a force which is going to be a reason for the failure of the beam. So it is important to find the shear force that are going to be possibly occur on the beam due to the applied forces or acting loads. This will help us to design the beam. Here, design means developing or constructing or creating the beam. Okay. This will help us to design the beam such that it is going to be strong enough to take up those shear forces without breaking or showing much deflection. So that's the information I wanted to share with you guys in this video. Hope you guys learned how to determine the shear force in a beam and learned to draw the shear force diagram. If you find it valuable, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you consider coming back to my channel for more civil engineering related videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get more information on the upcoming video lectures. See you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.